Thanks for joining us again on Profit with a Plan podcast. This is where you can get some great ideas to create your most profitable small business. Just so you know, financial planning isn't only for those that have a lot of money or run big companies. A financial business plan is for us everyday small business owners and professionals that want to make great financial decisions that lead to bigger profits. So join me, Marcia, your financial business strategist, each Tuesday for some smart ideas that can add more profits to your bottom line. I've helped tons of small business owners set up and take action on their game plan so they know exactly what steps they should be doing to make more money and grow their profits fast. If you know of anyone that may be curious, share this podcast or let's chat to see what we can do together to create greater profits in your business. I'm super excited today to have my friend Jenny Harkleroad with us to talk about creating your ultimate success. Jenny is a best-selling author, speaker, and subconscious mind change teacher. She's a mother of 4, which is her greatest claim to fame. Jenny is a big-hearted entrepreneur, executive coach, and corporate trainer. Jenny has built a business in San Diego over 13 years, producing double digits in the millions. That's what we're looking for. With the power of her mind, Jenny overcame her past of chronic pain, addictions, and bad relationships, and unhappiness. She never knew how sweet life could be until she changed her mind, and that changed everything. Jenny has a dramatic story to share, breaking her back on a mountain cliff. And that event changed everything and gave her a ferocious appetite to transform the lives and help others create what they were missing in their life. Jenny helps business owners and their staff reprogram their minds for ultimate success, literally changing their brains, which brings peak performance and happiness into every company. Wow, thanks, Jenny, and welcome. I'm so excited to have you on our podcast today.
Thanks, Marcia. I'm really excited to be here. I can't wait to share my message. The more people that I can empower and teach, I just love it. So thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely. So first of all, tell me, how did you break your back?
Oh gosh. Well, it was August 10th of 2013. I was on a camp out with family and friends, and we went on a beautiful morning hike. And as we were coming down the mountainside, my husband and I got a little bit separated from the group. I can't remember if we were going slower or faster. But anyhow, we got to this ledge, and my husband completely innocently said, if I was young and in shape, I would jump off of here. We were trying to get down. It was a faster way if you jumped, right? Well, I let my pride get the better of me. My ego kicked in, and I remembered that I was young and in shape. And so I jumped, and I landed on my feet, but the impact caused this crunch. And I fell and started screaming, and he thought I could walk it off, but I couldn't move. And he called 911, and Life Flight had to come get me. And in the hospital, they told me I had broken my back. It was a bad day.
Holy, you think?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, so your story stems from this. You know, this traumatic event that we have, and you said that you were in chronic pain afterwards. How did you come to find this method to cure your back pain?
Yeah, I love to share that. And, you know, people say that it's because I'm so inspirational. And I say, because I was so desperate, right? I was dying. I was hurting. My back literally felt like it was on fire. And I was doing everything the doctors were telling me to do. I was going to physical therapy, and I was having massage and chiropractor and acupuncture and all the things I should have been doing, right? And it just wasn't helping. So they were giving me pain pills and pain injections. Finally, a couple years later, major surgery. They put in rods and screws and a synthetic disc. And about 7 months after that major surgery, I was still in the same shape, but now full of metal. I couldn't sit, I couldn't drive, I couldn't function. I literally would have tears rolling down my eyes because of the pain that I was in. And they gave up on me, really. They said, sorry, lady, we'll keep filling your pain pill prescription, and you're just going to have to figure out how to live like this. And I said, you don't understand. Like, I'm this go-getter personality. Like, I have things to accomplish. I'm the mother of 4. Like, I can't live like this. And so I started searching for answers. And I didn't care how strange, how expensive, how far. I will do it, right? I am going to heal, cure, fix myself somehow, some way. Well, thankfully, I met an 86-year-old medical doctor turned kinesiologist. He started using a process of muscle testing with me, asking my subconscious mind what was going on. It was really strange. I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't know how my mind had anything to do with my back. But what I did know is that 6 hours later, I was completely healed and blown away.
Wow.
Blown away. How did that just happen? What just happened to me? How am I healed? Why am I not in pain? How come I can move? What did you do to me?
And thank goodness, right?
Oh, and thank God. Yes, absolutely. My prayers were answered. But I became fascinated with the power of the mind, because that's what we use. The power of my mind we use to heal my back. And it was so simple and powerful and effective that I really became obsessed with that power and how you can tap into it. And I started using it literally like a magic wand in my life. And getting rid of any problem that I had. For example, when I was healed of my pain, I then realized I have a pain pill addiction. Before, I honestly did not realize that I was in pain, so I was taking pain pills. When the pain stopped, why was I still taking the pain pills? It was because I was addicted to them. So I reprogrammed my mind so I wouldn't be, and I never took another one. Now, this is serious, because if you've ever been addicted to something, it's not that easy to unaddict yourself, right?
Right? That is a powerful statement.
So powerful. Well, you know what? Here's another thing. I married my high school sweetheart, right? And it was hard in the beginning, and it was hard in the middle, and it was always hard. And in the beginning, I thought, well, it's because we're young and immature, and that's why. But as years and decades went on, we were no longer young and immature. So why is it still so difficult? I reprogrammed my mind, and I literally transformed my entire marriage in a weekend. It sounds unbelievable. People think I'm lying, except for the people who watched it all happen.
Wow.
And they say, no, she literally did that. And it's because our perception creates our reality. Our belief creates our reality. What we think and what's in our perception is what we see and what we create. Just like if you're looking for a new car, you pick a model and then they're everywhere, right?
They're
you never
everywhere,
noticed them before, but here they are all of a sudden. Your mind has so much power.
I was just going to say, what a powerful tool that is so underutilized. I don't know what the percentages are, but I know that we just use a small percentage of our brain power. And but it's such a strong muscle that needs to be educated and exercised and unlocked in so many different ways for us to be at our peak performance. So this is a wonderful subject in a time where I think people are trying to figure new ways and shift and transform their lives, their home life, their business life, their financial life, all in the right path. And so I think this is a super timely topic to have in here. So tell me more about how you go about transforming or controlling your mind.
Yeah, I love this topic. And I'm going to tell you today the 3 secrets to creating ultimate success. And that will answer your question. And here's the first secret. The first secret is that you have 2 minds, a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, right? Okay. And most often we think we're consciously in control of our life, how we think and how we feel and how we act and
sometimes
how we react. But honestly, we are not in charge. We are programmed. It's a subconscious program that's running our life. And so tapping into that power is about tapping into the subconscious mind. You mentioned we don't use all of our brain. Well, that's because we get in these habits, these patterns. We develop a personality, a thought process. For example, if someone has road rage, it becomes a habit and someone cuts them off and they're just mad, right? Well, how do you stop that? How do you consciously change that? You can try not to get mad. You can try to talk yourself down, but what happens, it happens so fast. It's a subconscious program to be upset that it's really hard to consciously control what's going on in your life. So that's the first secret, is that you've got to learn how to tap into that subconscious mind. It's about 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. It processes about 40 million bits of information per second. It can process thousands of things at the same time. It's literally like a tidal wave of power that we don't tap into. It's just running our life, and then we consciously are changing whatever we're focused on at that moment. But I'll give you an example. Your eyes blink, subconscious program just happened, right? You can consciously control it. Don't blink, right? You cannot blink. But how long can you not blink for?
Not very long.
Until you think about something else and your focus shifts, right? And then you go back to your same old program. And so that's what was going on in my life, my marriage, my back, my addictions. I was go back to the same old program. I'd say, darn it, starting Monday, for real this time, I'm going to do this. And then I would lose my focus and be back in the same place and so frustrated and stuck. But if you tap into your subconscious, it's literally like changing the programming on your computer. If you reprogram the computer, something different happens. If you reprogram... Go ahead.
Is this something that we can do on our own, or do we have to have help to do this?
So it's something that I can teach you how to do, and we're actually going to get into that today.
Good.
So let's talk really quick about the second secret, which is that you are programmed. So think about growing up. What language was spoken in your house, and then what language did you speak? Of course, that same language, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you were taught. Mm-hmm. And you don't speak English to your kid and they start speaking Chinese, right? No. Okay. Now, what you do with money, there's a money language in the house. What money language was spoken to you? Was it that there's an abundance and you can create whatever you want in your life and there's no limit? Or was it money doesn't grow on trees and you don't deserve it? Like, what was your money program? What was your relationship program? What was your health and wellness program? You were programmed, okay? And that dictates your life. The printout of your life is the printout of your beliefs and your subconscious programming, because you believe what you create. You believe or you create what you believe you can create, right? If you think you can, as Henry Ford says. But it's not consciously. It's deeper. It's at a cellular level, right?
Wow. Yes.
So secret number 3 is that you can reprogram yourself. And I honestly believe it's the greatest discovery of the 21st century, because you no longer have to be stuck or frustrated or upset or, jealous of the next guy. You can change yourself and your belief, and I'll show you how to do it.
So let's, before you show us how to do that, let me ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah.
How can, in business, because we are a business podcast, how can I overcome or change, or can I overcome and change certain habits I have in my business? I think, as an example, most of us hate cold calling, right? They just don't like it, so they avoid it with the plague, or they say, oh, I'm not a salesperson, that's just one extremely popular problem that most business owners have. Can we reprogram ourselves on that?
Absolutely. There is no limit to what you can reprogram. And I work with corporations on reprogramming the inclusion and diversity and bias. There is no limit to what you can reprogram.
Interesting.
So what you do is you have to decide how you'd rather have it. So let's use that cold call example. How would you rather feel about cold calling? Comfortable, peaceful, excited?
Yeah, well, I've been told that we are helping the person on the other end. We're sharing our wisdom and our solutions to them. So it's not necessarily my feelings. It's what happens when they say, no, quit calling me. Who gave you this number? It's the aggressive nature that the other person has that kind of turns us off. But it's it sounds like it's like the driving in the car. When that person cuts me off, I react that way. So it's not what they say. It's the challenges of how I react to it.
Yeah, your perception of it, because probably somewhere in the past, someone reacted in a negative way to you like that, maybe even on the phone. And so now your subconscious mind, which is timeless, pulls up that old memory and it's like, oh, that's bad. I don't like that. I do not want to be on the phone because that could happen to me again.
Right.
And so you can change your perception of who you call and how they respond to you. You know, your belief can be, everyone I call is excited to hear what I have to offer.
I like that.
If you believe that, that is the energy that you're putting out, and that is what you're going to attract when you're talking with people.
Okay.
And so
I like that. I'm going to take that one.
Okay, awesome. So that's what you do is you change how you want things to be. You write a statement of how you want it to be. So grab a pen or your cell phone or whatever you have handy and write a statement that you want instead. So are you going to use that one that we just talked about?
I think that's one of them. I mean, I probably have a whole list of things that I really ought to change. I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, nobody's perfect and we ought to change things that we can change. And I think, you know, we have such limited control over things that are surrounding us in this current environment. We can't control what's going on. So I encourage people to control what you can. And we can control how we think and act and react. And so I love this challenge. I think it's so right and such a right time to have this. And so I'm definitely going to be taking notes, and you can do more than one. You're not just stuck with the one. I can put a whole list of 3 or 4 or 5 or 25.
Exactly. I mean, psychologists say we have about 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and about 80% of them are negative, and about 90% of them are a repeat of yesterday. So if you think about it, during COVID-19, what's going on? Maybe your thought is nobody's buying right now. Well, guess what? If you think that, what's
Then
your reality? Oh my gosh, they're not buying. But if you change that perception to everybody needs what I have, and so I'm selling more now than ever, that's what you're attracting in. And people are saying yes instead of no, or later, or send me your information, right?
Exactly. Well, and it's not just the mind shift. You have to take the actions afterwards. You have to take that first step and put yourself out there. So when you have that mindset, it helps that ease everything forward. But you absolutely have to take the steps afterwards, the action.
Absolutely. I talk about what we do in our process, reprogramming the mind, is the potential, and the action locks it in. It makes it happen, right? You can program yourself to be an Olympic athlete, but if you sit on the couch and never compete, you can't win a gold medal. Right?
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, you know, of not taking that action. You know, a diet is everything we put in our mouth, and the exercise we take out, you know, or use. So,
absolutely,
can be used everywhere.
Yes. So in this process, a lot of people like to reprogram their money beliefs, right? Okay. How much money they can make. And so when I ask people how much money they want to make, they say, $10,000 a month or whatever it is. And that's awesome. That's perfectly fine. But sometimes I just wonder, like, why only that? Why not more? Right? Mm-hmm. Why limit yourself? And I was working with a client yesterday, and we did a process where he wanted to have $10 million in his bank account by a certain date. Mm-hmm. And I love that, like the big thinking. Like when we're kids, we're such dreamers. We put on a cape and we pretend we can fly, and and then as we get older, we put all these limitations. Well, here's my product. I probably can sell to this money, so it makes sense that I could do this. Well, let's throw make sense out the window. Like, dream big again, because if you do, you can get there. But if you don't, you won't.
I think that response comes in because you want to make those goals achievable. You say, oh, well, I can make 10,000 a month because I'm already making 8
Right.
or 6. I think it's something that's achievable because you want to have rewardable goals. You want to be able to say that you made that. But yeah, I think that we do. We put limits on ourselves for absolutely no reason.
Right.
Shoot for the stars.
Remove those limits, you really can. I mean, you pull in the most amazing things. I had a client the other day, she programmed that she would make a $30,000 check, and guess what happened? She did. $30,000 commission check. She believed it. She made it happen. So powerful.
Love it. I think this is one of the action pieces that you can get your plan started and going. And if you can do this kind of information and you can control the way your mind thinks, then you're going to be able to achieve the goals that we put in your plan. So I love this. I love this.
And here's the best part. When we reprogram the mind, you no longer have to control the mind. You're reprogramming the subconscious and you're making it your automatic, just like your eyes blinking, just like your heart beating, like your hair growing. It's happening. So I'm not trying to be out of pain. I'm not trying to not be addicted to painkillers. I'm not trying to have a good marriage.
And I'm hearing the word try it. I love it.
I do, because that is my new reality. That's literally, if you look at the science of it, this process changes the pathways in the brain. It changes your cellular perception so that your cells respond differently automatically.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. So how do we do this? And how long does it take? And how often do we have to do this to make it stick?
That's a lot of questions.
I know, right?
So how do we do this? I will demonstrate. How long does it take? 5 to 10 minutes per belief. How often do we have to do it? Every time you want to change something about your life. You don't need to repeat anything. You need to, because once something's done, it's done. You reprogram a computer. Do you have to go back and reprogram it? No.
Makes sense.
You have to take action though, right? To see the result. But now that your subconscious supports you, it's easy to take the action. It's easy to pick up the phone because you believe that now instead of it's scary, right?
I know, right? Awesome. I love it.
Okay.
So you're going to show us how to do this. Yes, let's go do this.
So step 1 is write the goal. Okay. You're going to write it like it's a positive affirmation, like it already exists.
Okay.
So easy for me to pick up the phone and call someone I don't know and share my message.
Right.
That could be the goal. It could be something about my staff is happy and collaborative and positive and produces so much together. I mean, it could be anything. It can be personal. It can be physical. It can be mental, emotional, spiritual. If you look at your business, how many aspects are there? Your marketing and your advertising and your P&L and it goes on and on and on, right? Where is there a problem? That's where you have a limiting belief, wherever there's a problem. Okay. So let's use an example of money because that one's so easy. Okay.
Right.
So let's write a statement. It's so easy for me to make, and then you're going to fill in the blank, whoever's listening, whatever dollar amount you want to make. And let's say, or more. And let's just use 10,000. If we're talking with entrepreneurs, a lot of people getting started in their business, that's a big deal to get to a consistent $10,000 a month or more in their business starting off, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're already way past that, obviously put the number bigger.
Pick a bigger number.
Right.
And you can have any number. So I like that. Okay. So you write it down.
You write it down. Okay. And now what we have to do is we have to explain this goal to the subconscious mind. The subconscious speaks in sensory language. And so it doesn't necessarily understand what you're talking about consciously. So we're going to describe it to the subconscious mind. We're also going to open what's called the brain bridge, the corpus callosum. It separates both hemispheres of the brain. You want to be in a whole brain state. You want to use 100% of your brain. And you can when that brain bridge is open. It's a state of super learning with a brain synchronization. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then we're going to actually build a new neural pathway in the brain with some body postures. Now, if you've ever coded a computer, I haven't, but I've watched my husband, my son do it. It's weird looking. It's like ones and zeros and lines, and like, how does that turn into a game? It's crazy, right? Well,
right.
We don't know how to reprogram our mind, most of us. And then I'm going to show you how with these different body postures that bring those two hemispheres of the brain together. It may seem a little weird. If you go to my website, you can see all the science behind it. It's a scientific process of how the body can reprogram the mind.
I love it.
So we're going to do it. Okay.
Let's go.
So you got your goal.
I wrote down my goal.
Okay. It's first person. It's positive. It's short. It's meaningful. It's present tense. It needs to be that way. It can't be, I don't want, or,
right.
no negatives, all positives, like it already exists. Okay.
Love it.
So first thing is open the brain bridge. So you're going to cross your arms like this.
Any particular way?
Either way is perfect.
Okay.
Then you're going to look at one hand with your eyeballs, and then you're going to look down to your elbow, and then you're going to look up at the other hand, and then you're going to look down to your elbow. And you're going to do that about 10 times. And what this is doing is it's opening that brain bridge so that you can get to a whole brain state, a form of super learning where you can literally use 100% of your brain. And when you're done with doing that about 10 times, you're going to bring it to your chest. And you're going to put your feet flat on the floor, and you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to take about 3 slow breaths. So we want to slow the brain down, because it's when it's in a high beta state and it's running, on all cylinders, it's not a time to reprogram. But as you slow it down into a theta state, you can actually reprogram what's going on in the brain. And then you're going to cross your ankles. And you're going to take about 3 more slow breaths. Again, slowing the brain down, opening the brain bridge so you can build a new belief. And then put your feet flat on the floor, uncross your arms, put your hands on your thighs, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Take about 3 more slow breaths. Again, slowing down the brain, putting it into a theta state, opening the brain bridge, forming a whole brain state, synchronizing the brain. And now we're going to describe this goal to the subconscious mind so it knows how to create it. So what I want you to do is I want you to visualize what's going to look different in your life visually when you've accomplished the goal that you just wrote down. So this is a money goal that we wrote. Now yours might have been different. So imagine something different if it's not a money goal. But imagine what looks different if you have more money than you do right now. It could be the smile on your face, first of all, some relief, some relaxed shoulders, maybe better sleep at night because you're not stressed about money. You don't see yourself tossing and turning and getting up. You just see yourself sleeping like a log. Maybe it's logging into your bank account online or on your phone and being like, dang, that's nice. Maybe it's someone you love, like excited about what you're creating. Maybe it's somebody that you're helping with these funds. Maybe it's paying for your kids' college. Maybe it's buying something new for yourself. What visually looks different? So you're going to think through those visualizations because your subconscious mind will create what you imagine it to create, especially when you're in this theta state. And then after you visualize about 3 different things about your goal, what it's going to look like when you've accomplished it, you want to think about what's someone who knows you and loves you going to say positively to you when you've accomplished this goal. Like, oh my gosh, Marcia, I can't believe how much money you're making. Jeez, what are they going to say? Think about that. Maybe they say, can you teach me how to do it? Maybe they say, I'm proud of you. I love what you're doing, helping others. And then think about, what are you going to say to yourself? Maybe it's something similar, like, nice job. I'm proud of you. I love you. Good work. Way to help others. And then you're going to think about how it feels when you've accomplished this goal. So maybe it's excitement. Maybe it's relief. Maybe it's joy. How do you feel? And then you try to get into that feeling. Think of a time you felt that way before and really feel it in your body. And then try to hold on to that for about 10 seconds. You're literally visualizing the future to create it into your reality. Really feel that feeling, how it's going to feel. And the next part is building that new pathway in the brain. So how you do that is you open your eyes, put your arms out in front of you, and you're going to put one hand on top of the other. Make sure you're touching your pinky finger, and you're going to swipe up your arm into your chest. And then you're going to do the opposite side. And you're going to keep doing that motion. Then you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to start repeating your goal silently. So if we're using a money goal, it's so easy for me to make X number of dollars per month or more. And then say it again. It's so easy for me. Keep repeating the goal while you do this. It's literally building a new pathway in the brain. It's creating a new perception for you, which will create a new reality for you automatically. You're going to do that for about 30 seconds or so. And then when you feel like it's time to move on, you're going to put your right hand over your navel, your belly button, and you're going to swipe your hands straight up to your collarbones. And then you're going to do your left hand, and then your right hand, and then your left, and then your right. And then you're going to go back to repeating your goal with your eyes closed while you're doing that motion. It's so easy for me to make whatever your goal is, X number of dollars per month or more. So easy for me to pick up the phone and cold call and get amazingly great responses. Whatever your goal is, be saying that goal. Could be about your health, your relationships, your family, your anything. There's no limit to your mind. And when you feel that's complete, you're going to interlace your fingers and you're going to set them in your lap, and you're going to repeat the goal about 5 more times. Now, I keep saying when you feel it's complete, move on. And some people are more feelers and others are not. So if you don't feel anything, it's still working. Just give it about 30 seconds and then move on to the next step. And then when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. So what you did was you just changed your brain, which now changes your cellular perception. But now you got to do your favorite step, is take action.
Take action.
How do you do what that? Can you do to make that dollar amount? Exactly. What can you do? And take your pen and write it down, your action plan. What can you do? And then when we're off this call, you're going to put that thing in your calendar, time block it, put an alarm on it, make it happen. Do it first in the day, right? You have to get it done. But here's what you're going to notice. My gosh, it's so easy to do this thing now because I'm no longer fighting myself. My whole system is like, we're going to do this. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is amazing.
Thank you.
So we're going to have to come back together and let you, or make comments in the podcast notes, whether your goals are starting to come true, because this is amazing. A lot of people say, oh, woo, 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 it doesn't work. But like you said, there's scientific evidence on your website as exactly how this works and why it works. So for those of you that are kind of naysayers and don't want to live in the woo-woo, you can go to your website, Jenny, and get that data that says, hey, it's true. And you know what? If nothing's worked in the past, try something new instead of trying to, keep hitting the wall and that glass ceiling that you have. You could try something different and then go take those same action steps and see if they improve the response that you're getting. So
Absolutely. I love working with companies. And after I do, I have them fill out this questionnaire a week later. Like, what percentage improvement do you see in the goal? And what percentage of your action plan did you take? And it's so common to see 100% improvement.
Love it.
Common because of the power in our subconscious that we're not tapping into. So grab that power and use it, because you can create amazing things when you do. So why not? Why struggle? You don't have to.
Exactly. And use more of your brain, right? Open it up and get it working in the way that it should. So Jenny, thank you so much for coming on here. How can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely.
Give us your contact information.
Our main website is balancedyou.org. So check that out for all the science behind our process. And you can also schedule a free 30-minute call with us there. You can get a copy of my best-selling book, Breaking to Be Me. You can also check out a program we have called the Transformation Factor, where we meet monthly in groups and reprogram our mind together. It's so much fun. So you can do this online, in person, in groups, in couples and families. It works because it's the secret to reprogramming yourself for success.
I love it. Thank you so very much for sharing on this. And, listeners, I hope you've got some great ideas that you can try this method with to shift and improve your success, because we all want that ultimate success. And what does ultimate success bring? It brings you more profitability. So we would love to have you grow those profits, and thank Jenny and myself for introducing it to you. So I wanted to announce that I do have my book out. It's called Big Profit Secrets Exposed. It's out on Amazon. We'll make sure that there's a link for you in the podcast notes, as well as Jenny's book as well on there too. And go check out Jenny's website to get and the download she did, so you can do this method and change your life for the profits, for the money that you're trying to make in your business. So we'd love to hear any questions, feedback, answers, your responses that you got. Please just make those responses. And you can always reach out to me, Marcia at Bella Financial Group, anytime to talk about this. So we're so happy you can catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. And we're looking forward to next week's more profitable information. And until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Marcia.